What is going on, Navigation Nation, and welcome back to another live Q&A. So good to have all of you here this evening. I have been trying to make sure that the audio is good for this Q&A, and hopefully all is well now. If you guys wouldn't mind, just go ahead and give me a thumbs up in the live chat if you guys can hear me loud and clear. Hopefully all is well now. Just let me know in the live chat. How is everybody doing tonight? Just waiting for those thumbs up. I think I've got it figured out now. You guys know your boy PokéNav is not the most proficient when it comes to technology. All right, we got thumbs up, baby. Excellent. Hopefully each time that I switch scenes as well, hopefully all will be good there. Well, all right, guys, let's get rolling. How is everybody doing tonight? Man, this has been quite the week. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but it's been quite the week. It's been kind of a week of new beginnings. I don't know. There's been a lot going on, a lot of change in the air. Here in Arizona, here in Phoenix, it's been highs in the mid 70s all week, and I felt good. It's just been a good week of January. So I hope you guys are all doing just as awesome as I am. Again, it is so good to have all of you here. Let's give some shout outs to everybody here in this live chat. Miss Workmeister, Oak V2, Hill and Darris, Schematics Finch. We got John Rico. We got my boy Collecting with Jules. K Backin. We've got the lovely Lindsay Bride. You know, she just seems to always show up in these live chats, and she's always giving me those thumbs up and those hearts. So I don't know. I got to give her a big shout out as well. B Saviv. We got CK Imran, Ricky Ricardo. Who else is coming in here? Tom Bystander. What is up, my friend? The Bears Chin, Jurassic Carp, YK Havari. We got Omash in the house. What is up, buddy? It is good to have you here as well. And we've also got Dash Dingo. All right, guys. We are ready to get rolling on another Q&A. But before we get started, you guys know what to do. Double slap time. One for that like button, one for that subscribe button. If you are new here and you haven't been a part of these Q&As before, go ahead and give me that double slap attack. One for that like button, as well as one for that subscribe button. I appreciate it. And then on top of that, whenever you want to be notified, whenever a video goes live, whenever a video drops, you know what you got to do. You got to thunder punch that notification bell. All right, guys. And then on top of that, I got a couple announcements real quick right off the bat, and then we'll start jumping into some questions. First thing here, Omash, our good buddy Omash, gave him a nice shout out. If you guys don't know, he was on our podcast this week, the Pokemon Purveyors. Awesome guest. We had such a good conversation, and Omash is just he's the man. Not only, listen to this, guys, not only is he a Pokemon fan, that's obvious, but he's also a Dragon Ball Z fan, which I think you guys know by now. Your boy PokéNav is also a pretty big Dragon Ball Z fan. And then on top of that, he's providing middleman services for all the big three grading companies, PSA, CGC, and Beckett. So if you guys don't want to go through the arduous process of having your cards submitted, our boy Omash, he does a great job of that, and he is a plethora of information in regards to grading. So yeah, if you guys haven't checked out the podcast yet, make sure that you do so once we're done here tonight, or maybe this weekend when you get an opportunity. You're not at work, you got some free time, check out that podcast, because you guys will get a lot of information from it. And again, a big shout out to Omash for being on with us this week. And then beyond that, if you guys haven't checked out, speaking of podcasts, if you guys haven't checked out the interview that I did with David Person on the Pokemon Masterclass, then man, I'll tell you what, you guys want a lot of questions answered? Well, go ahead and pull out your notepad and pen and listen to that episode and take lots of notes, because David and I got into some awesome conversations in that interview, and it was just a litany of knowledge and insight and just good information. So I would definitely check that out. And on that note, we've been speaking of podcasts here. Now, later on in the episode or in the live, I'm going to have a little bit of a call to action to the community. That's right. I'm going to get you guys in on something that I need some help on. And I think if we all band together and really try to accomplish this, I think that we can, and I think you guys will be happy with the end result. But that is all the information I'm going to give for now. We're going to wait until maybe about halfway through, so maybe about, it's about a little after 5 my time, so maybe we'll wait till about 5:30 or so, more people start rolling in, and then we'll get right to that call to action. All right, so with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and start jumping in to some questions. See what you guys got for me this week. Let's see here. And remember, guys, one thing, if you're going to be asking a question, just go ahead and tag me at the beginning of your question at PokéNav, so that it lights up for me. Essentially, it's a little bit easier for me to pick out in the live chat when you guys tag me in there. We got a question here. Let me make sure there aren't any. Doesn't look like there's any more earlier. So we've got a question here from YK Havari. It says, I have a couple PSA cards I got back first edition. Shining Gyarados PSA 6, Shining Celebi, Neo Genesis PSA 8, Blaine's Charizard PSA 4, and first edition PSA 6 Neo Gen Lugia. Should I sell or hold? This question gets asked a lot, and it's never an easy answer, and here is why, my friend. It's because it really depends on your goals. Now, these are all cards that are, well, except for the Shining Celebi, are all less than near mint status. So I think that those cards, especially in near mint status or even below, they still have a little time before they're really going to appreciate and really see a substantial value. So, if you're looking for overall value, looking to really maximize value on those cards, it's probably going to be, you're going to be better off to just wait and hold them for the long term. But at the same time, these are all first edition cards. So even in, near mint or less, these cards still go for a decent price out on the open market. So if you're looking to maybe flip and to reinvest that back into more products, or you want to build up a little bit of capital, then those are great cards to do it, because as I said, even in less than a near mint status, those first edition cards, really, a lot of first edition cards are still going to be a really good value even below near mint. So again, not a clear-cut answer there. Really depends on your particular goals that you have for yourself, as well, in the short term as well as the long term. All right, let's see. All right, here we go. Now the questions are starting to roll in. All right, I'm going to trying to find I'm trying to see if there's any above the questions that have been tagged. All right, CK Imran says, did you know it is Resident Evil 25th anniversary this year? I wish Pokemon and Resident Evil do a crossover. Wow, talk about a strange crossover that would be. It's one thing when Pokemon does a crossover with like Mario, but it's an entirely different thing than Resident Evil. That might scare too many people off. I don't know. It would be interesting, though. Definitely be interesting. SDC Collectibles says, does money ruin the joy of Pokemon card collecting? I think it's only if you're kind of short-sighted in it, because if you think about it, from the very beginning, we had the Pokemon price guides. You know, everybody, even as kids, we knew the value of cards, and that kind of determined our trading capability, or, you know, what cards we were willing to trade out was based upon their value. And I've told you guys before that, you know, for me, when I initially started back into Pokemon, I saw it first and foremost as a investment opportunity, to the end that I could reinvest that back into a collection. So I really don't see this this sort of what's the word? I guess a schism between collectors and investors, because I really think that the two operate symbiotically with each other. So there's definitely people that just focus on the money aspect of Pokemon, especially based upon its popularity recently. Can I fault them for that? Everybody's got their own way of doing things, you know, and who knows? You know, maybe they've been able to really turn maybe profits that they've made with Pokemon into something that brings them even more value. So, you know, I can't blame somebody for that. So yeah, again, the answers that you usually get from Pokemon or from PokéNav on a lot of these issues, they're usually with shades of gray. They're never black and white. KLVG says, thoughts on collecting staff cards with them being discontinued going forward? Yeah, definitely. In fact, the number one card that I recommended investing from 2020 was the staff pre-release Charizard. And as long as they continue to have those cards discontinued, I think you're just going to see the value on them continue to keep going up and up. Sean Johnson, I have a couple PSA cards I got. Oh wait, maybe this was this was the same card, or the same question. Yeah, Sean, you got your answer earlier, my friend. Johan Martinez says, how about them new jumbo cards? I think it's really cool. You know, I mean, they're reprints, but they are jumbo cards, so they are going to be, you know, a little bit different than just having an exact reprint, which, I mean, we're kind of being called the era of reprints now. But I think it's still cool. It's nostalgic. I think that especially as a display piece, collecting all of those, I think will be a lot of fun. And I think people will enjoy it. I think especially since it's spread out throughout 2021, it'll be a nice thing to look forward to, you know, as we move on, throughout the year. So I think they'll be fun. I think it'll be a good time. Austin M, thoughts on the Japan Pikachu VMAX promo card, the Pikachu with his hands up, 123. You think it's a good investment? Yes, and the reason being, I can't tell you, exactly where, certain cards are going to be in a year, or by the end of this year, 5 years. I just look for characteristics, and I really like promo cards, especially Japanese promo cards, because they're a little more exclusive, and they're just not massively produced. Promo cards are just not massively produced. So whenever I see the two words adjoining, Japanese and promo, I tend to, maybe I'm a little biased, but if history is any indication, those two words used in the same sentence are usually a really good thing. PokéNav, this is from Kevin. Thoughts on staff cards? Just gave my opinion on that. What about the less popular Pokemon staff cards like Dragalge? I think even the less popular ones, even if you look at Vivid Voltage and you look at like the Dawn Fan, for instance, even that card, PSA 9, PSA 10, is still going for quite a bit of money as well. And again, it has to do with a matter of scarcity versus popularity. So, just because a card is popular doesn't make it valuable. But scarcity usually indicates that a card will have inherent value just from a supply and a demand standpoint. So again, as long as those cards remain discontinued, then I think you'll see a lot of value there. Signor says, why is the Vivid Voltage booster box $200 to $220 and the pre-release display case $800? It seems extreme. Yeah, it does seem like a pretty exorbitant price for a very, very recent set. But again, guys, a lot of the time, within 3 months, 4 months, or by the time Shining Fates is released, you're more than likely going to see those prices go back down to a more comfortable level, probably more along the lines of like $150 for a booster box. But it's the set that we have. We haven't had another set released since Vivid Voltage, so you're just seeing the prices continue to go up, and that's typically what we see. So with this, you have to have patience, and you just have to give it time. Those prices will come back down, in my opinion, especially after the release of Shining Fates. Got to give a shout out here for that super chat. Miss Workmeister, last week you mentioned the Vivid Voltage Amazing Rares as a safe bet. What's your stance on the Shiny Star V? Thank you again for all the great info. So I think maybe you're mentioning the Amazing Rares from Shiny Star V. Now we were talking about how, or I was discussing how I thought the Amazing Rares were great because, this was the first time that we saw them was in Vivid Voltage, but really the first time that we saw them was in, Shiny. Well, I should take that back, but it's one of the first sets that we see the Shiny or the Amazing Rares. Now, Shiny Star V, as far as an overall set, I thought was great. I think it's a really, really great set. And, another thing that you have to consider is, yes, we have Shining Fates, which is essentially the English equivalent, the North American equivalent of Shiny Star V, essentially the same thing. But again, when you're looking at sealed products especially, you have to take a look at the aesthetics of it, the appeal of it. So far, the products that are coming out for Shining Fates, I think, are pretty cool. But man, I'll tell you, the Shiny Star V products that we got, those were pretty awesome. And again, I think the Amazing Rares for Shiny Star V, I think are going to be right up there as well. Now, granted, typically in the short term, even the long term, Japanese cards don't hold the same type of value that their English equivalents do. So do I think that, those same Amazing Rares are released in North America or in the equivalent set? Do I think those will probably be more valuable in the long run? Yes, I do. But I still think that the ones that were featured in Shiny Star V, I think you got a safe bet there. All right, let's see. Oh, Mosh, how are you so jacked? Well, I've got a 2-year-old daughter that I'm constantly lifting and trying to keep up with on a daily basis. So I think that's the secret. And also, I got my wife, she's, I guess this is the first time I'm going to announce that here, but my wife is actually pregnant with our second child. So, she's having been through that before, sometimes you gotta be strong to fend off, a hormonally enraged pregnant woman. So that's also where I get some of that strength and those cat-like reflexes. So anybody out there with kids, you know what I'm talking about. So thanks, Omash. I'm sure you got me in trouble with that one, my friend. Appreciate it. Scyther J says, have you heard anything about the Cosmic Eclipse reprint? Which products it might be and what might happen to the value as we've seen with previous sets? I've heard rumors about the Cosmic Eclipse reprint. The thing is, guys, and if you listen to that podcast with David Person, we were talking about this, where we both think that modern and ultra modern is still a good investment. It's just a matter of being able to hold on to it for enough time before you actually see real value in it. And that's usually about a 4 to 5 year time horizon. So, once we get past that point, then you're kind of outside of that realm of the possibility of having a reprint. You're out of competitive rotation, all of that. And that's what you're seeing right now with Evolutions. Evolutions, yeah, reaching that 5-year time horizon. And look at the price on that. Look at the price that Evolutions is now garnering. And I feel like it's warranted. It's a great set. It's out of competitive rotation. We're not going to see the reprints anymore. And I think that's an indication of what you can expect, or you might be able to expect, with a similarly popular and set that has a lot of good chase cards in it. Cosmic Eclipse was a good set, and I think you just have to wait that 4 to 5 years before you really want to see some kind of value and get out of that reprint time period. Right, let's see. Beardmander Pokédin, what is your favorite card from the Heart Gold Soul Silver sets to include the Call of Legends set? So from Heart Gold and Soul Silver, I would have to say the Legend cards. I love like the Legends, Legend Lugia, and the Ho-Oh Legends cards. I think those are so unique. There's never been another cards like those since Heart Gold Soul Silver, and I was actually recommending those in a previous undervalued Pokemon card series, and since then they've actually shot up pretty significantly. But yeah, those would have to be my favorite. Definitely the Legends, Ho-Oh, and Lugia. I've got a couple people asking, and we do see some recurring themes here in the live chat, guys. Usually on each Q&A. Several people in here asking how long they should hold certain products. And that's kind of what, really in a nutshell, you want to try to hold at that 4 to 5 year time horizon before you start seeing some significant value in them, because you want to make sure that you get out of that reprint time frame. So for anyone that's kind of asking about how long they should hold modern and ultra modern sets, that's what I would recommend. It's typically going to be about 4 to 5 years before you start to see those prices really creep up to a level that you would want to sell at, in my opinion. Hey, Hyper Cards, thank you so much, my friend. I do my best. Do my best. That's why I'm here. Hey, Blake, appreciate that super chat, my friend. Congratulations on baby number 2. Your question above, if I didn't answer it, let me see here. Oh, here we go. Okay. In your opinion, is there any recovery time for these junk slabs? 3, 5, 10, 20 years, or no real recovery due to insane amount of slabs? By recovery, I mean prices like they are now with some growth. So in the end, this is my opinion. In the end, guys, no matter how much product you have on the market, it boils down to demand. So, they're calling this the junk slab era because there's just so many cards getting graded, cards that, just commons, uncommons, just your full art cards. And so a lot of people are worried that now you're going to have all these graded cards out on the open market, that they're not going to mean anything, that grade, that used to hold a significant value is not going to mean anything anymore. And really what it boils down to, in my opinion, whichever way it goes, I don't know. But really it boils down to demand. So you may have a large supply, but if you've got an even higher demand for these graded cards, and let me tell you something, there is a graded card out there for everyone. Even the most like obscure commons or uncommons, like there is somebody out there that wants those cards. I can assure you of that. So again, I think it boils down to supply and demand. Now let's hypothetically say that there is too much supply to meet the demand. What kind of recovery time would we be looking at here? It's tough to say. It's really tough to say. Typically, you start to see, like when we look at the financial markets, usually you know, the stock market. It goes through kind of somewhat of a predictable trend. You know, you usually have about a 10-year slump, and then you have like another like 10-year kind of significant boom. So who knows? We may see a similar thing here with Pokemon, and you know, that oversupply, if it should happen, of junk slabs. But just really hard to say either way. I think it really, in the end, it boils down to supply and demand. If there's significant demand for graded cards, whichever one it is, then I don't think that you'll see the, you know, this retrace. But in my opinion, that's what it depends on. A lot of people saying congratulations. I appreciate it, everybody. We are super happy, and can't wait to welcome little Nav into the family. All right, let's see. Oh, and Miss Workmeister, another super chat. Thank you so much. I currently have 10 ETBs and nearly all the box sets of Shining Fates pre-ordered. What kind of print do you think we will see from this set? How much would you recommend a moderate investor set back? So again, this is going to go back to, I'm probably going to refer to it a lot in tonight's conversation. But the interview with David Person, basically what we both agreed on as far as like investing in a newly released set is get a couple sealed cases of each. Now, where you're usually going to see the most value is in booster boxes, for sets that have those. In subsets, you know, like Hidden Fates, in this case Shining Fates, you know, some of those other subsets, you're going to want the ETB. So it looks like you've done that. You've got essentially a case of ETBs here, and that's really what we recommend. Get a case, maybe 2 cases, and then you know, set it aside and wait that 4 to 5 year time horizon when you're out of the reprint time frame, and that's typically when you'll see the big spike in price. So that's what I would recommend, because I think what you're seeing a lot nowadays is a lot of people hoarding product, and you know, it was a concern to me as well. But you think about it, guys, that can only last for so long. You know, the hoarding of product can only last for so long before, let's say we go through a retrace, we go through a slump. Those people are going to sell off product. It's going to come back onto the open market. So, you know, the hoarding it, I don't think that's, you know, a good thing to do. You want to, especially if you're trying to build a business or you're trying to have a well-rounded portfolio, you know, of Pokemon products. You don't want to go, in my opinion, you don't want to go all in on just one set. Excuse me, on one set, one series. You want to, in my opinion, you want to spread it out, diversify your assets. So I think 1 to 2 cases of either ETBs or booster boxes, to me, that's the way to go. Hey, TCG Authority, what's going on, my friend? Japanese binder, or Japanese myself, yeah. So, you know, Japanese cards. I'm actually in the process right now of connecting with somebody back in my kind of hometown area that just recently brought in a bunch of Japanese products. A lot of WotC era, obviously WotC didn't produce Japanese cards, but of that era, Japanese singles and some sheets of cards as well. So we'll kind of see what the price shakes out to be with that, and we'll see if I decide to dive in on it. But yeah, I love Japanese cards. People probably know that by now. I think that they're fantastic, and they're, you know, they're just from the get-go usually in better quality than the English equivalents. All right. I'm going to help Jules out here in the live chat. So it looks like we've got someone of a nefarious sort in here. Thoughts on the 1999 Nintendo playing cards? Oh, man, I'm actually not even familiar with those. Let's do a little research. Maybe I am. Sometimes the verbiage that we all use is a little different. 1999 Pokemon Nintendo playing cards. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen these before. Let me go ahead and bring you guys in here so you can see. Hopefully the audio is good now that we're switching scenes. I guess this will be the test for that. I think this is what you're referring to here. Let's see. Wow. Yeah. So these were actual playing cards. That's pretty cool. Wow, yeah. Well, and that just goes to show you again, guys, that it doesn't always have to be, cards from the TCG that, can garner a good value. There's a lot of collectibles within Pokemon outside of just TCG specific cards that are good investments as well. So this could definitely be one of those. But thanks for filling me in on that one, my friend. Like I said, I had no familiarity with those, so now I will put them on my radar. TCG Authority, you have a good one, brother. Take care now. All right, PokeFuel in the house. Looks like audio is good on all fronts. Yes, no echo. I know. I've been stressing about that. Been stressing about the use a swear word, the damn echo. It's been giving me sleepless nights. Well, not really, but yeah, it's been a nuisance. All right, guys, and I got to say it here. We got 112 people in this live Q&A. Thank you all for being here. Let's go ahead and get those likes, guys. Let's start hitting that double slap attack. One for that like button, and if you're new here, one for that subscribe button. I certainly appreciate it. Let's get those likes over 100. And here in a second, we're gonna get a call to action for everybody. I think you guys are gonna like that. I think you guys will like what I've got in store here, because I know, and again, I was alluding to the podcast, I think you guys are gonna like what we're trying to accomplish. CJ Do Work says, also, how much General Mills cereal will you be investing in? I don't go down that route. I think it's cool and I think it's fun. But yeah, like the food products, stuff like that, I'm just not interested in it. I like to see it, and it brings me a lot of nostalgia and enjoyment. But yeah, as far as an investment, I will not be going down that route. It's not the asset class that I'm looking for. Billy Zhang is saying, to open or not open a Vivid Voltage booster box. Well, I tell you, I've done a couple openings here on the channel of Vivid Voltage, and the pulls have been pretty decent for the most part. We've gotten a lot of amazing rares out of 2 booster boxes, a couple secret rares, so you never know. Prices are pretty good too for a lot of those cards, especially if you pull that Holy Grail Pikachu. The card is doing really well right now. Lupo says he's heard that PSA needs 1 year to grade people's cards. Is that true? That's essentially what we're hearing right now. And again, our buddy Omosh, who was on our podcast, he is a middleman for PSA, and he's basically said the same thing, that it's you're looking at well over like 8 to 9 months to get your cards back from PSA. So, you know, if you haven't watched that episode yet, or I even made a video on CGC versus PSA, now may be a good time to start looking at CGC, guys. Seriously, with the long backlog of PSA and Beckett, it honestly might be a good time to take a look at CGC. Those cards are on the up and up. Hey, PokéCards, what is up, my friend? Welcome. Glad to have you here. Glad to have someone new joining us here tonight. If you got any questions you'd like answered, man, just go ahead and tag me at PokéNav, and I will do my best to answer it. Creative Mente, what's going on, my friend? Hey, Sparky Mark, I appreciate that. Again, welcome. Glad to have you here. PokéKen, first time here. Glad to have you as well, my friend. John Neeson says, thoughts on the Charizard Illustrator? Raw copies are still cheap, and PSA 10s are going for 400 plus. Yeah, you know, I think that's one of the cards. You know, I miss out on cards all the time, and I think that Charizard Illustrator card was a sleeper. It was a sleeper on my radar, and I think it definitely has potential. I think that's one. You know, I had seen it. Obviously, I was following it when it was released on Poke Beach, but I was just thinking to myself, like, it's just an Illustrator card. We've had so many Charizards. It doesn't have the same kind of notoriety, you know, coming from a mainline set. But I was wrong. And it looks like it, in fact, you know, it's Charizard. I should have known it's a Charizard. And sure enough, it's seeing a lot of good growth. PokéKen, what's your thoughts on Hidden Fates Charizard? Well, I mean, just look at it. I mean, both short-term, long-term investment. I don't think you can go wrong. I mean, that Hidden Fates, I think when we look back on it in 10 years, it will be probably, I would say, top 3 most popular sets of all time, in my opinion. I know that's a big statement, and who knows? You guys can come and give me my 30 lashings if it doesn't turn out that way, if I'm still around. And but I do. I think Hidden Fates is probably going to go down as one of the most popular sets of all time. You know, and that's including WotC. So I think that Charizard from that set is probably going to follow suit as well. There's just all the things that you would want in a set really occurred in Hidden Fates. So I think that's something that you might see. Leo B, thank you so much for that super chat, my friend. Thoughts on the 25th Pikachu Holo that'll come in cereal boxes starting February. 3 card packs, all reprints except Pikachu is a special holo and 25th anniversary stamp. It's hard to say because, you know, and you guys will probably yell at me about this, but I don't agree with like the prices on even the special delivery Pikachu. Personally, like, you know, the card that was like pretty easy to get by ordering, I think it was $25 worth on the Pokemon Center, which the Pokemon Center has absolutely exploded. I don't know. To me, I mean, it is 25th anniversary and that's cool, but I mean, it's in cereal boxes, so it's like if it's guaranteed in there, so you're paying $4 essentially to get one card. You know, now how much of it will actually be produced in how many cereal boxes, I don't know. Again, going to that supply and demand aspect, that may play into it. So, you know, you can't count it out. But I don't know. I think it's if we're talking about cards that I think are overvalued, I think that special delivery Pikachu falls in there. And if this one starts to see the same kind of prices, to me, I think that would be a case of overvaluation. But again, could be wrong. Doug says, thoughts on the Generations Radiant collection. I've always personally loved them, but curious if it has any future investment potential. I personally think so, and in fact, I've included it in a previous undervalued series, undervalued video that is a part of a series. I think it's beautiful. The Charizard in there, I think, is fantastic. I think it's underrated, in my opinion. I think as we go along, especially now this year that our eyes are back on another anniversary of Pokemon, and Generations was in celebration of the 20th anniversary, I would not be surprised if you didn't see Generations and subsequently the Radiant Collection see a big spike over 2021. So keep your eyes on that, guys. All right, Miss Workmeister, again, thank you so much for that super chat. You mentioned maybe doing consulting with the community. Do you know what timeline you're looking at? Cost? Also, it's MS for my initials. Oh, okay. I'm a dude. Happens all the time. I clearly didn't plan. Well, now I know. So we'll just, if you prefer to go by something else, just let me know. But yeah, as far as the consulting, I haven't figured out an exact timeline on it yet. Really what I want to do is that will all be included on the website. And I know you guys are like, God, PokéNav, you've been talking about this website forever. But guys, I want it to be great. Like, there's going to be a lot on there. It's not just going to be where I'm selling, products, or, you guys are going to be able to go on there. There'll be merchandise. There'll be there's even going to be blogs on there. I'm talking with people right now who are also heavy into the collecting, the investing, and who do newsletters and things like that. So I want to have like a section on there for blogs, for information. Gosh, what else? You'll find the consulting on there, so you'll be able to sign up for a consultation session. You guys will be able to sign up or purchase packs for box breaks. So I really want it to be like all inclusive, to have everything on there that I think is ultimately going to provide you guys with the most value, the most information, the most education. So just whenever the consulting does come out, it will be on the website, and you guys will be able to go on there and sign up right on the website. So again, I'm working with somebody awesome from the community to develop that website, and I think you guys are really, really going to like it. And just be on the lookout. Have some patience. I know there's been so many people that have reached out to me about the consultation sessions, and I'm excited to do them as well, guys. I would love to be able to work with you guys one-on-one, have more time to actually sit down, get to know your specific situation, and be able to craft a blueprint for you based upon your goals and your aspirations. So just be patient with me. Trust me, it's in the works, and it will all be on the website. It will all be there. So just keep an eye out, my friend. Keep an eye out. All right, guys. So before we jump into any more questions here, so as I was saying, I have a call to action for you guys, and it relates to the podcast, the Pokemon Masterclass series that I'm doing. Now, recently, I put out a poll to all of you guys. Actually, it was just earlier today. Put out a poll to you guys, and I was asking you who you would most like to see interviewed on the Pokemon Masterclass. And well, you guys came back hot and heavy, and it was an overwhelming majority. You guys want Twice Baked Jake. You guys want him on the podcast. You want him to be interviewed, and I would love to interview this guy. I think he's got a lot of knowledge. I think he's a great member of the community. So with that being said, I don't think just my input and my influence alone is enough. He's a busy guy, and he's also a bigger content creator. So what I want you guys to do, and what I'm asking you to do here tonight, and I think together as a as a community effort, I think we can get him on the podcast. And to my understanding, it would be the first podcast that he's been featured on. I could be wrong there, but I think it would be the first one. So this is what I want you guys to do here tonight. I am going to go ahead and I'm going to paste this into the live chat. Okay. I'm going to post this here in the live chat. I'm going to go ahead and pin this message. What I want you guys to do, okay? So you guys got to all be in agreement here. We got almost 125 people here in this live chat. What I want you guys to do is copy and paste this comment. So please be a guest interview on PokéNav's Pokemon Masterclass. I want you guys to copy and paste this in the comment section of his most recent video. Okay, guys? I think if we do this, you guys all are on board here with me, and we copy, paste this into the comments on Twice Baked Jake's most recent video, I think that will be enough to show him that we're serious about having him on the podcast, that I'm serious about having him as a guest and interviewing him and garnering his knowledge that I know you guys truly want to hear. So again, let's go ahead, copy and paste this comment. Please be a guest interview on PokéNav's Pokemon Masterclass. Go ahead and paste that in the comment section on his most recent video. Can we do that, guys? Can we do that together? 120 people. If 120 people do this and do it on his most, I almost guarantee you that he is going to take notice, and he's going to go, wow, okay, these guys mean business and they are serious about me being on the podcast. Because, guys, I mean, it was unquestionable who you guys want to see. And since I started the podcast, and even when I was teasing the episodes, you guys, it was overwhelming support for Jake and wanting to have him on. And I think if we all do it together, then I think we'll have a much better chance of getting him on. So again, we'll just go together. So I will actually go to his page. I'll bring you guys in so I can show you which video we're talking about here. All right, so we are on his page. So this is his most recent video here. Now I'm not going to click on it. I'm not going to play it because I don't know about, all the legalities behind YouTube and, all that stuff. So this one right here, this is his most recent video. Go ahead and click on that one, and let's drop that comment into the comment section on that video, and let's do our best to get our boy Jake on the podcast. And I can guarantee you guys, if you've been listening to the podcast, we've garnered a lot of really good information from our guests, and I promise you guys, I will do my absolute best to make it the best interview that you hear with Jake, and I will definitely make it worth your while. So that is my call to action to all of you. Do that for me, guys. Drop that comment in there, and when it's all said and done, if we have him on, then we can say that we did it together. It wasn't just me. We did it as a community, and in the end, that's what it's all about, right? It's coming together as a community. So, all right, that is all I'm going to say about that. Let's go ahead and move on here, get back to this Q&A, and start answering some more questions. All right. Got to get some hydration first. I don't think I took a breath through that whole time. All right, Girafetica. I always botch that name, my friend. I'm sorry. Thoughts on the special 2Ds and 3Ds that were released for the 20th anniversary? What? I'm not exactly sure what you're referring to. Let's see. Let's see here. Oh, okay. So you're talking about the actual Nintendo. Okay. So sorry guys. Again, there's a lot of products out there. Can't stay up with all of them. Yeah, released specifically for the 20th anniversary. Again, we're going back. It doesn't always have to be just cards. There's a lot of Pokemon products out there that are very collectible and investable, in my opinion. From what I've seen, the fact that it was released specifically for the 20th anniversary, I like that. I like commemorative type of products, products released to celebrate a certain milestone. I think in the long run, that actually builds more value for the product more than anything. And so yeah, that could definitely be something to take a look at. But good question, man. Again, you guys are filling me in on all kinds of good stuff tonight. You guys, I should just have a Q&A with you guys. I should just ask you guys these questions. Because the PokéNav's getting the education tonight. And thank you, all of you guys out there. If you guys are doing that call to action and you are leaving that comment on Twice Baked Jake's video, I do appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time to do so. Because really, in the end, it is for you guys. It is to provide you guys with the best content that I can. And you guys know me, that content is usually in the form of information and education. And I think Jake would be a great person to help in that endeavor. So thank you guys. We got a question here. Are vintage theme decks worth buying? I did another video on that here a while back. I think that the theme decks are great. They definitely don't come at the same price point that something like a booster box would. Or even booster packs, but there's still great cards in there. Now, granted, the holos in there aren't the most valuable, but there's still value in them. And I think personally, as more and more people are opening vintage products, specifically booster boxes, it seems like the theme decks are the ones that people never open. So from a sealed collector or a sealed investment standpoint, I think that's one that you might want to look to hold on to, because who knows, there may come a time where that's the vast majority of the sealed products that are left are actually the theme decks. Cross Gonzalez says, looks like he's going old school and just typing it manually. Yeah, guys, it doesn't have to be verbatim if you don't want to, but just let him know. Let him know that we, as the Nav Nation, we would love to have him on, and that you guys really want to see him on the podcast. Just let him know in whatever way you want to come across. Lugo says, I live in Europe, so there is no middleman for CGC. Would you be my middleman? Should I email you? No, I'll tell you guys, I am not going down that route of being a middleman. That is way too much time, and it requires much more time than I have. So I apologize. I cannot be your middleman. But you might want to reach out to Omash. I don't know if I don't know. Omash, I assume, is working with people from all over. So I would definitely reach out to our boy Omash and have him do it, because he is the man with the plan when it comes to grading Pokemon cards. Fefmon says, now after Evolution reached the $1,000, what do you think will be the limit? Will it be a display like Wizards of the Coast displays today in about 5 to 10 years, or just a hype that will end at some time? So I don't know where the ceiling is at. All I know is that right now it is the poor man's base set. It's the term I've heard thrown around, and I think it's honestly kind of fitting. It's quickly getting outside the realm of the poor man's base set, I can tell you that. But it's definitely, even at $1,000, it's much more affordable than anything else. You know, first edition, unlimited, Japanese, it's still way more affordable than all of those. So I think the demand for it is going to remain strong. If I were to give a prediction on it, you know, I would say, you know, by the end of this year, I really wouldn't be surprised if we, you know, if it was hitting over 2,000, honestly. That truly would not surprise me if by the end of 2021 we hit over 2,000. I think that's even a conservative estimate. And you guys might say to yourself, well, PokéNav, how do you even come to that conclusion? Well, just seeing the growth of it, the popularity of Pokemon, and again, the fact that, you know, even at $2,000, guys, I mean, that's still within the realm of possibility for most people, and they can still have that nostalgia. And I think all of the attention that will be centered around the 25th anniversary, and people wanting to, you know, more people coming back in that want to relive their childhood and have that nostalgia. Well, guess what, guys? Evolutions is still going to be the most affordable option, even at $1,500, $2,000, $2,500 a booster box. So I think I don't know where the limit's going to be personally. You know, did we ever think that the limit for a first edition base set booster box would be, you know, 400,000 or more? Probably not. You know, 5 to 10 years, it's I don't know. It's hard to say, you know, without, you know, some, you know, a strict compilation of data, which I'm actually working with somebody to actually put together, you know, perhaps one of the more thorough investment reports that you can use, you know, for like the top 500 Pokemon cards. We are putting that together as we speak. But it takes, you know, we're working with a research and development company. So, you know, there you go. A little bit of insight there. Be on the lookout for that as well. But, you know, for somebody just as myself to try to, you know, compile that is really, really difficult. So I can't tell you where it's going to be 5 to 10 years. All I can say is that I think it's still got a good and significant growth cycle ahead of it, just based upon everything that's going on and the way that I don't see Pokemon slowing down anytime soon. Almost Jeff says Jake made full art trainer cards double the price. Yeah, you know, that's I guess that is the responsibility as a content creator. You know, even for myself, you know, not a large content creator, you know, I've put out videos before on products that I thought were undervalued and have seen price changes. So, you know, you have to be careful. You know, you have to be careful when, you know, in information that you're releasing, because, you know, at this point it can have an effect on the market. So you want to make sure that you're putting out, you know, good information and that has a, you know, a sound basis to it. Dirt Squid says, so I have a PSA 9 Neophile 2 Charizard. Really cool. Would you keep it for a while or quick flip it for about $100 more than I got it for? I think those Neophiles and the cards on the inside, I think those are in their infancy, honestly. I think more and more people are finding out about those. I mean, I didn't even know about them until 6-7 months ago. So I think that they're still being slept on. I think that they still have a good growth cycle ahead of them. So if you're looking to flip it, I mean, $100, you know, really isn't much. I mean, you've got to start somewhere. Everybody does. And, you know, if that can help you maybe invest into more products, then maybe that's something that you consider. But I really think those cards have a lot of potential in the long term. So just take both of those things into consideration. Here's a good question. Matt Yagma, do you think that Wizards of the Coast Japanese cards are ever going to become more expensive / valuable than English ones due to the rarity, origin of Pokemon, quality, and all that? It's a really good question. And as I was saying before, typically what we see is that Japanese cards, when their North American or English equivalent come out, the English cards supersede the value of the previous Japanese cards. But it's not the case with all cards. And again, that's why I like the Japanese promos, because we usually don't get those in English. So I would say, it's tough for me to predict whether they will trump the English equivalents at some point. I mean, it would make sense to me, considering that's where Pokemon is from, and kind of like, as you alluded to, the origin. But that's why I try to focus on more of the exclusive cards, the ones that are only released in Japan, because those they're going to be the most valuable ones, because they don't have anything necessarily to compare to, and maybe even to overshadow their real or inherent value, when the English equivalents are released. CJ Do Work, thoughts on recent Pokemon Center 25th anniversary skateboard debacle, and how you think they should handle special drops moving forward, especially with special delivery Charizard dropping. This is a good question. I guess just from a logistical standpoint, more of a heads up I think would be great. And not just one big, well, obviously, more of a heads up would be great, letting people know, hey, this is going to be the day, or maybe the week. Maybe they make a drop throughout the course of an entire week, especially something as popular as the skateboards. Maybe just dropping more products throughout consecutively throughout the week. And, especially for the special delivery Charizard, that is going to be, you thought the skateboards were a debacle. Wait for that special delivery Charizard. But, that's another thing I would consider. I mean, Pokemon is way smarter than me when it comes to logistics and supply chain management. So, for me to give my advice on, how they should manage that, I mean, they know that a lot better than me, and I think whatever happened with the skateboards will probably be rectified in the future for future drops. I think they'll make that adjustment. We'll see what it is. Chris S. has a good question. What's your view on the special delivery Pikachu? Do you think the huge price bubble will pop, or is it going to continue up in price even when the special delivery Charizard comes out? Personally, I think the card is overvalued, in my opinion. The fact that you can get it. Now I know there was like maybe some scarcity, maybe some people weren't getting it, some people in other countries weren't getting it. So that could lend to its value consistently maintaining, or perhaps even going up. But I don't know. To me, it just seems overvalued for a card that was pretty easily accessible. Now with the special delivery Charizard coming out, I think you'll see that will affect the price of the Pikachu, because that's where everybody will then be focusing their efforts on acquiring that Charizard. So much in the same manner that we see the drop in price of like a previous set when the new one is released, we could see a similar situation here when the Charizard comes out. The Pikachu then takes a hit in its overall value. Girafetica, what booster boxes have you been picking up as of late? Haven't been picking up any booster boxes lately, to be honest. Right now, I've been focusing on a little bit more kind of obscure products. I've been focusing more on graded cards myself, and acquiring raw cards, having those graded. I know you're thinking, PokéNav, you chose the worst time in the world to focus on graded cards, but for me, it's I'm not worried about the short term. I've got enough capital set aside that I can, hold it over, until graded cards come back. So yeah, I haven't been focusing too much on booster boxes. Once we start doing the box breaks, then I will, start focusing more significantly on those. But yeah, right now it's more obscure products. Have been looking more into like other collectibles within Pokemon as well. Again, a little bit more obscure and graded cards. So yeah, just haven't really been focusing on the boosters as of late, which is uncommon for me because that's kind of what I've done for a while now. Is the sealed booster boxes. So it's a little bit of a change of pace, but that's the way things are. That's how you've got to be malleable, and again, you've got to, in my opinion, you've got to have diversification. Rezenary says, hey brother, thoughts on the Pikachu Battle Fiesta cards as a long-term investment? I really like those. I think that they're pretty funny, and anytime it's kind of they're kind of similar to like the what are they called? Like the costume Pikachus, things like that. I think they kind of fall into a similar vein as those type of products. So I think there's definitely possibility there, or I shouldn't say possibility, potential there. You could see there's potential there. Brandon Well, do you see the value of full art trainers sustaining or dropping off? I think it really depends on the attitude of the community. We've got a whole new generation of Poke people coming up, and they may place more emphasis on the full art trainers, which is something that we're seeing right now, is more people really gravitating to the full art trainers. Maybe that was Jake's doing, I don't know. But there's definitely more of an emphasis on those cards, but I think a lot of it has to do with just the kind of mindset of new collectors coming up, and a lot of them really enjoying those full art trainer cards, and just kind of seeing maybe a shift in the paradigm of what the community really enjoys, so, and their tastes. So I think that's what we're seeing here. So I think it'll just depend on how that trends, and if people continue to place a significant emphasis on those cards. Hey, there's my friend again. It's okay to step away, my friend. We've been here a little bit longer tonight. With the PSA buyout, do you think we will see massive expansion? I know it's all speculation, and ZNG didn't really want to go into it when I asked. So I think that now that they are a privately held company, that gives them a lot more financial leverage to expand, whether that's technology, whether that's their footprint in the form of brick and mortar stores, whether that's hiring more graders, or whether that is expanding upon their technology. Now, I didn't know this until the other night speaking with Homage, but a company like CGC uses a lot of software to do the grading on their cards. So I think that would be fantastic for PSA to employ, is more of maybe a software based, where they can relieve some of the workload off of their human graders, or you go forward with a new protocol where it is a combination of human graders as well as software grading. I mean, realistically, if you've got an algorithm and you've got it perfectly programmed to look at specifications XYZ on a card, to me, that's the way of the future. And if you ran a card through 10,000 times on this software, and it was basically going to come back in that particular grade 10,000 times over, to me, that's how you really balance out a market, and that's how you provide even more validity to cards being graded, because it would never come back as more or less than what it did just going one time through. So that's how I think PSA can really, the opportunities that are available to PSA, how they're going to go about it is to be seen. So far, they haven't really done anything. They haven't changed anything. So, hold on. getting choked up over PSA. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. Now I lost my voice for the night, guys. That started to come back. That's what happens when you do so much talking. But yeah, so, you know, the future is really bright, I think, for PSA now being a privately held company. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what actually happens. But those are the opportunities that I see for them. Treasure X got lucky with Flesh and Blood. 100K made. Good for you, my friend. Thank you for the super chat, though. I certainly appreciate that. All right, let's see here, guys. Let's get to a couple more questions, and then we are going to call it a night. And again, I want to thank everybody for being in here tonight. If you haven't done so already, guys, please heed that call to action. Let's go ahead and copy and paste that comment that is pinned at the top of the live chat. Pin that into Twice Baked Jake's most recent video down in his comment section, and let's try to get him on the Pokemon Masterclass. But again, I appreciate you guys' help and your support of the channel, because obviously we are stronger together, and you know, as a community, I think we can accomplish just about anything. All right, let's see. Get through a couple more. Saying Prince Z says, I have an entire binder of first edition cards. Where would you recommend I sell it? Well, if you've got an entire binder of first edition cards, my friend, I would look at getting those graded. Now, we've been going into the conversation about CGC, PSA, Beckett. If you're looking to have more of a short-term profit in mind, then you probably want to go with CGC, because the turnaround times are going to be a lot faster. If you try to go through PSA or Beckett, you know, it's probably going to be next year before you get those cards back. But even with first edition cards, you know, even as rare as those are, in their raw form, they're not nearly as much. They're not worth nearly as much as they would be graded. So yes, you can go and you can sell those, and people would gladly buy your entire binder from you, and you could probably make a fairly substantial amount from that. But if you just have patience and take the time to have those graded, I think you'll be really much more happy with the outcome in the end. Jacob Renault, what do you think about grading with CGC? Well, first of all, I think now is probably the best time ever and the best opportunity to grade with CGC, because if you'd like to get your card back in a reasonable amount of time, they're the only company. I mean, there's SGC and there's others, you know, that I haven't discussed before that may be, you know, just as good, but I'm just not familiar with them, guys. And to be honest, I'm not really going to put forth the effort to explore them because I try to focus on like the big dogs, like the big three, because from a value standpoint, from a popularity standpoint, I really go with the ones that the vast majority of collectors and investors are going to be focusing on. So, you know, CGC, I think there's a lot of good qualities about them. You know, they're very well versed when it comes to comics. They've been doing those for a long time, and I think they're well equipped to grade trading cards. They're the new kid on the block, which they've got that going against them. But again, they also have a lot of opportunity ahead of them. I've heard really good things about those who have had their cards graded with CGC. They've had a good experience, and yeah, I think that now is probably the best time. And you know, they've got good prices too. You know, it's like $150 I think for a membership, but then they give you a $150 credit towards grading. So you essentially get that right back, and then you'll get your prices down to, you know, I think around like $8 to $10 or so. So that's something you could definitely take a look at. Emadel says, drink more water, bro. I know, man. I tell you, all this grading talk just getting me choked up. All right. I think I got enough in me now to get through the last few questions here. Matthew Dutton, 16. Would you pick up a case of battle styles? Yeah. So again, if you haven't watched the conversation between myself and David Person, we were both essentially recommending the same thing. When a new set is released, pick up a case or two of either the ETBs or the booster boxes. If there's a booster box for a set, pick those up. If there's just ETBs, then get the ETBs and sit on them. Sit on them for 4 to 5 years, and more than likely you'll see a decent return. You know, I mean, when you consider it, guys, over the last 20 years, the S&P 500 has returned about 6%. You know, even if you're getting a reasonable return on your Pokemon cards, I think 6% is not outside of the realm of possibility. You know, and you're just going to have to wait that 4 to 5 years because you want to make sure you get outside of that reprint time frame. Gigi, you don't have to tag the link, buddy. Just go ahead and copy and paste it. So just hover your mouse over it. If you're on your phone, maybe it might be a little tough, or you can just go the old school way and just go to his video and just type it in manually. But yeah, I definitely appreciate that. Treasure X holding 34 sealed elite trainer boxes. Trainer boxes, shadowless good. I'm sorry, my friend. I'm not sure where you're going with that question. Sealed trainer boxes. Because I think you're referring to elite trainer boxes, but shadowless. I mean, obviously there wasn't any ETBs back then for shadowless. I'm sorry, buddy. I don't know where you're going with that question, but again, I do appreciate the super chat. If you can clarify, I'd be happy to answer your question. You know exactly what you're looking at there. Are you talking about shadowless booster boxes? Are you talking about? I assume you're talking about booster boxes, but yeah, if you wouldn't mind just clarifying, I'll be happy to answer that question. Oh, okay. Yeah, it looks like you realize that. World of Jacob, bro, you seen CLCT stock go up like crazy. I think you're talking about, I think that's Collector's Universe, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see here. Well, it couldn't be Collector's Universe because they're private now. Oh, it is. No, yeah. Because I don't know why it would be going up. 91.65. So maybe it hasn't cleared yet. Maybe I haven't completed the buyout yet. Huh, interesting. Yeah, but it doesn't necessarily surprise me either. All right, guys, we're going to get through a couple more questions here, and then we are going to call it a night. So if you got one last question that you want in here, then throw it in that live chat, and I'll try to rapid fire these as quick as I can. So yeah, Greddy88, if he's talking about 34 shadowless booster boxes, then that would be just insane. That would be absolutely insane. Theme decks. Oh, okay. So shadowless theme decks. Yeah. And you know the thing is, there's certain identification. There's certain things that identify an actual shadowless theme deck. There's like a gold bar on the back. I can't remember all of them off of the top of my head. I'd have to look it up. But there are certain things that will let you know or give you a high likelihood of knowing that a particular theme deck was in fact shadowless. So if you've got 34 of those, my friend, yeah, like that's that's awesome, because those are hard to come by, even from the theme deck standpoint, which were pretty massively produced. Those shadowless ones, to know that it is in fact shadowless, that you've got an excellent little collection on your hands there if you've got 34 of those. Girafetica says, have you heard about Tag All-Stars finally being out of print? Well, that's good news. That's good news. Guess what's going to happen, guys? Prices are going to start going up. That's what happens. It's what we're seeing with evolutions. Fefmon, what's my favorite Pokemon? Mewtwo. Favorite card of all time, Shining Mewtwo. I love it. Gotta love Mewtwo. Let's see if I can come up with the quote off the top of my head. Circumstances of one's birth are irrelevant. It is what you do with the gift of life that determines who you are. Yeah, awesome movie. Love Mewtwo. Favorite Pokemon. Charles Manson. What do you think about Digimon TCG? I have no idea about Digimon. Sorry, guys. Pretty much anything outside of Pokemon, I'm not the guy to come to. My name would be DigiNav at that point, but it's just PokéNav. Edmundo Rea, hi Nav. I got into Pokemon again this past year, like many others did, but I started buying stuff that I don't mind keeping for myself as opposed to just flipping. Keep up the amazing content. Hey, I appreciate that, my friend. Thank you so much. Five-star breaks. Any Pokemon Discords or Twitter accounts to follow to keep up with releases? So the person that I would check for that, my friend, I'm not the person to, but I would check with Commander Curtis. He's got an awesome newsletter, and he keeps people up to date with like Facebook pages and different areas where you can stay up to date with like pre-orders and things like that. So check out Commander Curtis, his newsletter, and if you want a link to his webpage and to his newsletter, just go into my videos and go to the I believe it's the 5,000 subscriber celebration video, and then down in the video description you will find a link to his channel there. I believe it's just commandercurtis.com, but that would be a great resource for you to check out. All right, last question here, and I think this is a good one to end with. Kevin Torres says, how do you stay motivated and engaged in the Pokemon hobby for the next 5 years? Well, first of all, I think Pokemon does a lot of that for us. With new sets, new releases, they constantly keep us hungry, and they keep us wanting to come back for that next set. So I think Pokemon does a lot of that to us already. Beyond that, I think you're seeing a shift in paradigm where there's more and more people coming in. Pokemon is gaining a big notoriety once again, and we have more ways to communicate with each other than we ever have before. I mean, think about it, guys. 10 years ago, would we really have been connecting like we are right now, answering questions, connecting as a community, for myself, being able to connect with other content creators, collectors, investors. Jules and I we became friends over YouTube, essentially. And now we host a podcast together. We talk on a weekly basis, sometimes a daily basis. That to me is what keeps everyone motivated, is that. And then on top of that, you also have the investment side, where I think that it is a viable investment decision to invest in Pokemon. There's a viable business decision to create a business around the Pokemon TCG. So I think altogether, there's a lot of reasons to be motivated. There's a lot of reasons to want to be in this hobby. And, just take your pick. Take your pick at which one you want to pursue, or which one you enjoy the most. The sky's the limit, really. So, I say it all the time, but I am I am just so grateful to be a part of this community, to have you all a part of this PokéNav community, and it's just an awesome experience. I look forward to producing content, to connecting with you guys each and every week, to connecting with all the people that I have over the course of, it's been a little over 8 months now since I first started on YouTube, and it's just been such a great experience. And when the world goes back to normal and we're able to get out and about more, I want to get out to like Pokemon Worlds, regional events, and be able to connect with people on that personal one-on-one, face-to-face. Yeah, I know you don't hear that term used a lot anymore, but yeah, face-to-face interactions, and that's what it's all about, guys. In the end, it's all about the connections, and that's when it all boils down to it, that's what motivates me the most, and that's what keeps me coming back again is the connections. So really good question. So hopefully you guys appreciate that. Adelina's Adventures dropping in a little bit late, but hey, my friend, glad to have you here as always. And again, talking about connections, guys. There's people that come into these lives every single week, and I just appreciate you guys so much. And yeah, I think that is going to do it for this Friday, guys, for this week. Got some awesome content in the pipeline for you guys coming up in the next week to round out January 2021. Still baffles me to even have that roll off my tongue. But yeah, look forward to it, guys. Look forward to talking to you guys again. Lots of fun stuff on the horizon. Keep an eye out. And if you want more content, again, check out my channel. If you're new here, check out all of the other videos that I've provided. If you didn't get your question answered tonight, more than likely I've answered it in a previous video. So go check those out, and then be sure to check out the Pokemon Purveyors. Had that new episode today with our buddy Omash. Check out the Pokemon Masterclass with David Person. Lots of great information in there. And yeah, if you got any other questions, just reach out to me directly, PokéNav27@gmail.com, or you can find me on Instagram at Pokemon_Navigator. All right, guys. Well, I will see you all next time. You guys be safe. Enjoy your weekend, and I will see you next time. My name is PokéNav. I'm here to help you navigate the world of Pokemon, one video at a time, and I will see you all in the next video.